everyone, welcome to LexTalk World Talk Show presented by Clickaway Creators. Today we have Mr. Abbhinav Thakshak with us. Mr. Thakshak is an engineer and a law graduate. He comes with an over 20 years of experience into various verticals like business, law, IPR, and environment and sustainability. Currently, Mr. Thakshak is a founder of the law firm called by the name TSA Legal. Law officers of TSA Legal are committed to the business and individuals who seek legal help and the assistance. Their lawyers, experts, and consultants are passionately dedicated to delivering excellence in line with the client's requirements and expectations. The team at TSA Legal has an extensive domain knowledge, expertise, and experience in various factors and various fields like business law, intellectual properties, rights, cyber law, artificial intelligence, international law, and many more. Their clientele includes several technologies and IT companies, startup, and small businesses. So without any ado, let me all introduce you to him. Hello, Mr. Thakshak. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Krish. Thank you so much for having me here.
It's our pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for taking out your valuable time and having a session with us. So, Mr. Thakshak, I would like to start this interview by asking you a small question. That based on your bio, we got to know that you have invested your more than 20 years into the legal fraternity, into the legal industry. So how was your experience as of now? And any positive remark or any important note that you would like to share with all of us?
Yeah, look, though overall my experience is more than 20 years, and I've been associated with legal work and legal industry for more than a decade now. So I'm education-wise, I'm an engineering graduate and a law graduate as well. But I was involved with IPR, intellectual property rights, right from the ascent of this millennia from 2003-4, and that is where my interaction with the law started, and that is where my interest peaked into it. So I've been into, my experience has been not only in legal, but I've myself been an entrepreneur quite a while back, and had some good enterprises that I created, the startups. A couple of them got acquired as well. Couple of them got were not that successful, and then I migrated into consulting work. So we've got I have been into management consulting, and then of course legal consulting. And for the last couple of years, we've been working with TSA Legal. This is something that we started, our own law firm, and it is quite a decent law firm that has now built up. But then it is still we feel that we are still at the nascent stage when we need to achieve more, create more value to our clients. And I believe that we are still in the starting stages of a very well fulfilled career that we look forward to.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Thakshak, for sharing such an honorable answer with us. It was really great knowing about you and your experience as of now. Also, Mr. Thakshak, really wanted to know, like, if you can tell us about a complex legal issue that you or your firm has worked on, and also if you can describe the complexity and the best way that you have approached it.
In today's scenario, since we all are inadvertently in a world which is dominated by artificial intelligence and internet and all that, so the complexity of issues also range from these issues itself. So artificial intelligence, cloud computing, when you look at it from the perspective of law, it is still trying to grasp the gravity of what can be done, and where does the technology interact with law. So yes, these were the complex issues that we've been facing. We were not facing, but that we've been trying to answer for our clients for the last couple of years, because as these technologies are evolving, so is the law. And though in India also the government and the judiciary is trying to mold some guidelines related to these, but then these are still evolving. Hence, there are no such clear-cut guidelines as to where does what means what, and where does legality start and legality ends, and technology starts and law starts. So yes, artificial intelligence, cloud computing relating issues like evolving guidelines, lack of clarity, and since we are all working in the global scenario, then the issue of overlapping jurisdictions and laws. So, the person sitting here might be catering to the domestic industry, but also might be catering to the international industry. So, where does the boundary start in a cyber global scenario? So, those are some challenges. And since this is a huge market internationally as well as domestically, so it poses a lot of challenges, and our approach is to not shun these challenges, but to get ourselves equipped, upskill our teams. Since we've got lawyers, we've selected lawyers based on the technological background of the lawyers, so that we give out that complete package of where people not only understand technology but also appreciate laws. So that is where we started upskilling ourselves, understanding and studying of international law, because in geographies like US, UK, and other European countries, they've already, they are ahead of the curve when it comes to legislation being put in force for these issues as well, be it artificial intelligence, be it cloud computing, and all. So, and then there are precedences that can be catered to. So these were the challenges that we faced for our clients, because our clients ourselves, themselves do not have that clue. They are good at their own tech, their own ideas, but they depend on us to guide them into what does the law say about it. And though these guidelines are still shaping up in India, but we, because of our exposure to the international markets, we help them in guiding them by taking precedences, by learning about the guidelines, laws that are internationally already in place. And then that is how we, responded to that kind of challenge that were over the last 2 years, that we felt that is really a big challenge for us in that issue, a complex issue, as you could say.
Absolutely. Mr. Thakshak, thank you first of all so much for being so honest with us and practically sharing all the complex issues that you have been worked across. And especially keeping the last 2 years was really challenging for all of us, especially talking about post-COVID, how the things have been changed a lot.
Right.
And exactly now, since we're talking about the COVID, about the pandemic, so like what we have observed as of now is that during the pandemic, we saw that some courts being moved towards what I can say, towards the virtual hirings or going more towards the remote proceedings and availability.
Right.
So according to you, Mr. Dakshak, do you believe that is this sustainable? And also, if you can share a possible way to increase the justice in India, according to your opinion.
Yeah, I think this is a very pertinent question, and yes, last 2 years have been, though they have been very difficult for the complete world, for all the industries. But the silver lining here is that industries have now evolved. They have now adopted many ideas that they were reluctant beforehand. So talking about even in legal fraternity or the judiciary, uh, now even the virtual hearings, 3 years back, if you have spoken about it, they would have, the consensus would have been about the logistics and the challenges, and there would have been a very big mental block in accepting those. But now it is a norm now these days. And after adopting these things, even everyone, even the judiciary, the legal fraternity, or the clients, or the public in general, appreciates that, because the kind of uh, you know the kind of urgency that it brings to the table, the kind of ease of work, that that is impacting every aspect of law when we are talking of the virtual hearing. And then there's this when it comes to your second half of the question of how to expedite the judgments and how to effectively manage that case law or case load in the courts. So though I'm a very small entity, I might not be the right person to comment on this very heavy subject. But then, yes, uh, virtual hearing is one. Digitization of court records that is being happening these days is another one. Electronic filings, so these are few things that are ongoing, and they have been accepted well by all the parties involved. Then there is an issue of various dispute resolution forums and tech intervention in them. Like the government is now proactively pushing the alternative dispute resolution forums, where the focus is to not let the conflict go to the courts, and rather have them resolved at a arbitration center or something like that. And even then, you know uh, the idea is to have it time bound. So no, so there are two aspects to it. One is the arbitration, and that too in a time bound manner. So it cuts both ways for the parties involved, and they're quite happy to it. And the result is that there's not that kind of overload of cases in the courts. So these are some few things that I believe are steps in the right direction to effectively manage case loads in the courts, and to expedite judgments, and to free up the judiciary also. So and if you've heard a couple of days, I think last week, Honorable Chief Justice also mentioned that about bails. Supreme Court itself has been flooded by thousands of bail applications, which should have been catered at the district or the lower level itself. So it is not that they are not that these issues are not in the purview of the judiciary or the government. But yes, I believe last 2-3 years have expedited the resolution of these issues, and the steps that are being taken have two aspects as far as results are concerned. The short-term results, we can all see that uh, the virtual hearing is making a difference, and the long-term results of these steps would be felt in another 5-6 years, when there will be more the judgments, and the caseload goes down. And that is where we'll start appreciating the kind of steps that had been taken for the last 2-3 years. So I believe these are the steps in the right direction, and I believe these will help everyone involved in the legal industry to better cater to the clients as well as to the general public.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Thakshak, for again sharing your own honorable and honest answer towards this. But since we are talking the changes that have been done post-COVID, so as of now, like as per current, how would you rate the legal drive towards encouraging access to justice in India? And do you believe that is there a tangible movement in closing the justice gap?
Yes, it is. I mean, as I answered a few minutes back. Apart from that, look, the statutes and the law is made by the parliament and the state legislature as well as the union territories. And then there's another level of bylaw making in authorities, which are municipal corporations, municipalities, gram panchayats, and local bodies. So whatever the law is made is had been earlier being governed by the judicial system as well. But now another step that has been taken is that judicial officers have been now given the authority, to work on it, and some part of it has been given to the civil servants as well as a judicial to help them manage those workload. Then if you see, then there are many landmark rulings that have come in for in the last couple of years that again works for a better management of the legal issues. Then the courts, the judiciary has been proactively involved as well. You've seen that many times the court takes suo motu cognizance of the burning issues that where even the government might be reluctant to step in. So that again is a good step in the right direction, having the courts, because that keeps the governments and the authorities on their toes. Then there's an issue of urgency in disposing cases as well. So and we've seen this when there's a talk about this all around us, we know that things are changing, steps are being taken to resolving that. And then arbitration, if you've seen over the last 3-4 years, it's more of arbitration is a preferable means, not only by the government, by the judiciary, but also by the businesses as well. They themselves feel that let's not get into the court cases, let's discuss it, let's have an arbitrator appointed. Especially the new age technology and the startups, they do not they're reluctant to going that far, and let's have that in arbitration. MSME act, MSME forums is another area. So yes, I think things are taking better shape, and I think these steps are in the right direction of solving this bigger problems that we've been facing.
Absolutely. But Mr. Thakshak, also one more thing that we really wanted to understand is that, especially after COVID, in every sector, let's just not talk only about the legal fraternity, but about everything what we have experienced is that we all are going more towards the digitalization, like we are going more towards the technology, right? And since we all know that, yes, we are dealing with the legal fraternity, so especially in this era of legal technology, what are the most commonly tools that you or your firm has been using as of now?
Yeah, I mean, I like to answer it from perspective of not only our firm, but what the industry has been doing. So one is the involvement of artificial intelligence, so that managing routine-based tasks. So generally artificial intelligence does that. This thing, I mean, the interaction that we are having right now is on again on a virtual platform. That again is an example of artificial intelligence that is facilitating this. So this is one. Second is the focus on cyber security. And if you take a study, which is a National Cyber Security Center reported, that almost 60% of law firms had to face information breaches in the last couple of years. So cybersecurity is something that, again, even the law firms and lawyers are taking very seriously for themselves also, though we are an industry that advises our clients about these things, but then at times we are not that proactively focused upon our own. But yes, this aspect has also been gotten into the focus of the law firms. Then automation. I mean, if you see, generally a lawyer spends almost 2.5 hours of his daily work on an administrative work. which is not at all a better usage of his competence of his knowledge. So there are automation tools that are being now used by the lawyers and the law firms, which helps in freeing up the lawyers to get them their competence being used in a better way. Then digitization, the paperless offices.
Yeah.
So, and since our industry is paper heavy, we like to have paper, we like to have clauses and everything. So, but then yes, we've moved from papers to digital media, digitization of records, and since law firms have also been expanded. Now we can't afford that something that is happening in our Bangalore office, that there should be an email, a person needs to send that email. So we've got that digitization, the servers and all the cloud computing comes into force. Then when it comes to IPR, the paid databases are something that are being used, that gives a very unique perspective for not only for the lawyers, for the patent attorneys, patent agents, but also for the benefit of our clients. And global filing, by sitting here we can file patents or IPR related things globally. International arbitration is another aspect. If my client has a dispute with a person sitting in Dubai, so we've got that ADR facility. So all these are some new ideas that are being adopted by law firms as well as lawyers as a whole, and I believe they are not something that they are doing exception apart from what the other businesses are doing, but then this is what is the trend, so we keep ourselves abreast with that also. So yes, these are a few things that we've been
Amazing.
helping
Thank
us out.
you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Thakshak, for sharing all the relevant, ways that how we can emerge more towards the technology. And yes, you were 100% correct that everything is now being moved towards the digitalization, Zoom meetings, conducting virtual hearings. Everything is the best, examples that how we are saving our time, and, we are doing the best of the possible options that we have.
Right.
So thank you so much for that. But just one last thing that we all wanted to understand from you, sir, that since you have an immense experience into the legal fraternity, and we all believe in this factor, in this saying that time is money in any professional, but in legal the most of all.
Yes.
So especially really wanted to understand about you that how do you ensure to make the best of your time as a lawyer?
Yeah, not only if I can speak about not only myself but about our team also. So we've got various level of lawyers working with us. There are some associate level and senior partners, but one thing is very common, that every lawyer is needs to keep themselves abreast about what is happening in the field of tech they are specializing in, and in the field of law. So we do that by regular trainings. Internal trainings happens in our law firms for our lawyers, because and then we and since we provide trainings to our clients also, so training is one of the ongoing things that we do. Then upskilling programs, there are certifications that all the lawyers in our firm do, especially from the international universities. And we encourage that at least one certification to be done by each lawyer every quarter.
Every
Then there are
quarter.
webinars, conferences that we attend, and even internally we've got you know horizontal movement program for our lawyers as well. If somebody has started with some tech and some field of law, he can graduate to a different field if he wants, and if he has acquired, if he or she has acquired that kind of skill. So these are few things that we do internally to keep ourselves in the game and to have that kind of edge.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Thakshak, for sharing such a great insight with us, for sharing such an honest reviews about everything. You really inspired a lot of us, especially the person who are going to our videos from the legal industry. And once again, thank you so much for sharing such a beautiful, beautiful responses for everything. And we look forward to have a chat with you again in future on some trending topics, especially in the international legal fraternity. But as of now, for our viewers, if you really like this chat, I would request you to please like and share this video, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Clickaway Creators YouTube channel, to appreciate what we do. And you have many more coming from the great industry leaders. And thank you so much again. This is Krish from the LexTalk World signing off.